What will you do if your girlfriend is cheating right in front of you? And when you try to ask her on why she is cheating on you, her new guy beats the shit out of you right in front of her and looks at you like a trash. Well, at the start, he received a text message saying that his girlfriend can't come because she has a club activity she have to attend. And after receiving it, he said okay. But then he was on the train, thinking today was their special birthday date, but she didn't came. And he goes on by thinking that she was his childhood friend, who is named Amada Miyuki, and then she became his girlfriend after he confessed to her. Even after dating for a half a year, he didn't even kiss her, since she is like an idol to him. And he gets sad because she didn't attended their first date, since he got this day fully planned out. Afterwards he gets out of the train, and he looks at the movie theater, and realizes they were supposed to come here today. And he started to daydream about sitting next to her. And he started to hold her hands. Afterwards, with a blushing face, he stops dreaming about that. After that, while walking for a while, he saw a couples kissing on the side of the road. And he goes on by looking around where he is standing, which happens to be the Love Hotel district, which made him to blush real hard. All of a sudden he starts to daydream again about being with her on a hotel room, and she pulls his hands, and she blushingly invites him to sleep with her. And after thinking about it, he decides to leave. But before he could leave, he heard a familiar voice. And to his surprise, it was his girlfriend with another man. Afterwards he calls her. And after seeing him, she started to sweat because she got caught. But AG was frozen and doesn't know what to do. After that, both of them simultaneously asks to them on why are they here. And then he started to pull his girlfriend to his side. And then all of the sudden, the guy next to her beats AG, which made him to fall in the ground. And he started to ask to AG on what is he trying to do to his girlfriend. With a scared face, AG tells to him that she is the one that cheated on both of them. And with a smug face he asks to AG if he is a stalker. And he goes on by calling that girl to tell something about him, because she is dating him only because they are childhood friends, and he is not attractive at all. And also his hands are really sweaty, which is really gross. After hearing it, AG was just standing there without able to say anything. But then that guy suddenly says that she is always complaining about AG whenever they are together in the bed, which completely killed AG. And he couldn't able to do anything. But she was just standing there silently. After seeing it, he tells to her that he will cut ties with her if she doesn't say anything. And he goes on by asking to her if she is going to break up with him or with AG. And she started to say something while sweating. And she tells him to not break up with her, since she can't go on living without him, which put AG under huge despair, while he was hugging his girlfriend. And he looks at her with a creepy smile, and tells to her if she understands it, then it's good. Afterwards he asks her to say on who is AG. After hearing it, she looks at him, and she started to say that he is her childhood friend, who is very clingy and also stalker. Afterwards, with a dead eyes, she says that AG is also an abusive boyfriend. After hearing it, AG was just standing there with a lost of words. But then that guy butts in and he tells her to end AG's relationship right here itself. After hearing it, she tells to AG that she can't be with him anymore. And she goes on by telling him to not talk to her at school, which was AG's last day to be happy. Afterwards he returns to his home, where his mother and brother welcomes him. And his brother asks to AG if he wants to eat something, but he just said no thanks. After saying it, he just started to walk. In the end, he never slept, and he was awake until morning. After a while, his mother knocks on the door, saying that he never ate any food, while he was sitting there with the dead eyes. Afterwards he started to cry, thinking that he is keep on having a same nightmare, where that guy and his girlfriend are together, and she is talking bad about AG, while he was just watching them do it, and he couldn't able to do anything about it. And while tapping on that glass, he tells them to stop it. And all of a sudden he wakes up. Because of that trauma, he became scared to sleep. Afterwards he gets up and leaves the house to reach the school. And while he was walking down the street, AG's friends greets him and asks to him if anything new happened between their relationship. And with a dead eye he tried to say something, And all of the sudden he realizes that his girlfriend is walking in front of him. And after looking at her being happy, he gets a flashback, where when they are being kids, she asks to him if he had someone he likes. To which he says he doesn't have anyone, but after hearing it she tells to him that if he doesn't have anyone, then she should become his bride. And she goes on by saying that she is just kidding. And after remembering that, he gets close to her. Afterwards he taps at her shoulder, to which she looks at him with a scared face. And suddenly her friend stands in front of AG. And with an angry expression she calls AG an abusive creepy. And tells him to not get involved with her, but after hearing that AG was confused. But she just tells him to not stalk her anymore. After that, while leaving, she was saying to Miyuki that she should ignore the stalkers like this, which she accepts, while AG is standing silently. Afterwards, at the same day, while he was trying to sleep at his home, he suddenly got a text message, and to his surprise, the message was from an unknown number, and it just tells him to die, since he is a creep. Afterwards he started to get a lot of messages, and every single one is telling him to die for his wrongdoings to his girlfriend. And all of those messages starts to overwhelm AG. After reading everything, he was scared while saying that he didn't do anything. And in the end he throws away his phone, and it was just lying in there. Afterwards, at the next day, at the school, AG opens the door of the class, thinking that everything will go like a normal day and he shouldn't worry. And after coming in, he silently sits in his chair. And all of the sudden everyone in the class started to gossip that he is a creep and he should just die, which made him scared. After hearing everything, AG says that he never did it, to which a girl from their class taps on the bench. And she tells him to shut up since Miyuki won't lie. And then she says, the guy from the soccer club also saw his abusive things he did to his girlfriend. So two celebrities from this school, saying that AG is a criminal. So there is no one here that will believe AG. After hearing that, AG just lies down in his bench. And then the lunchtime came, and all the other kids are having fun, while AG was sitting on the rooftop, and with a dead eyes he was trying to eat his food. And all of the sudden he receives a text message in the group chat, which is the president of the club says that the club meeting for today got cancelled, so no one needs to come. Afterwards, while walking through the corridor, he was thinking to himself that there is no one in the class that he could rely on. So he decides to go to the club room, even though it got cancelled someone might be there that can help him. And to his surprise, someone calls the president inside the club. And they asks the president if she messaged AG that today club was cancelled, to which she says yes, and they goes on by saying that it's pretty scary to even look at AG. Afterwards she says that she even throwed out his manuscript, which sucked. But AG heard everything and he started to cry. And before he leaves, something got hit by his legs, and to his surprise it was his manuscript which was in the trash bin. Afterwards he thinks to himself that he have no one in his side. And suddenly he remembers that there is a teacher that might help him. And he decides to meet her, so he decided to go to her classroom. After arriving, he realizes that his ex-girlfriend is already inside. But the teacher was saying it's rare for a good student like Miyuki to have problems. And after she explained the lie to the teacher, he started to run away, since the teacher said she will be taking her side. In the end he decides to take his shoes and leave. But to his surprise she had already wrote a message for him, which is if he snitch on her, she will lie to his parents as well. After reading it he was shocked, and he ran away. Afterwards he returns to his home, and his mom asks to him what happened to his club meeting, to which he just tells to her that it got cancelled at the last minute. Afterwards she tells him to take rest, since he looks like he is tired, and they were just telling him to take rest and have fun, while AG was thinking that in truth his parents must be tired too. And he goes on by thinking that his mom never cried in front of them ever since their dad died. And also his brother is trying his best to take care of their family in their dad's place. And with a happy face he says that he will do his best. Meanwhile Miyuki was sitting at her bed, with a dead eyes. She was thinking she couldn't able to get any sleep after that incident. And she goes on by thinking that everything happened on that day should have to be a dream. And if only she hadn't break up with AG. Afterwards, while walking home, she saw how AG was getting bullied, which almost made her to cry. And she decided not to cry. Afterwards, when she was talking to her friends about their love talk, they misunderstood it, thinking if her relationship isn't working, so they introduced her with that new guy. But she still tried to turn him down, but he was an athletic guy, who is also an ace in the soccer team, plus he is a handsome guy. And unlike AG, this new guy was really attractive to her. Afterwards, he was saying that there is no guy here that's going to love a beautiful girl like Miyuki. After a while, he tells to her, if he were to be AG, he would have already made a move on her. And he even tried to riz her up by getting a drink to her. And he goes on by telling her that she is really attractive. In the end, he stole her first kiss. And after finished kissing, she thinks to herself that everything she had reserved for AG got taken away by that new guy. In the end, they were at the bed together. And he started to say that it's AG's fault for not making a move on a beautiful girl like her. And he tells to her that she is not the one that's wrong here. It's him who has failed as a guy. Afterwards, he invites her again, but she took it without any resisting. After finishing, he asks her to hang out with him again on the 30th, to which she says that she can't, because she has a date with AG. After hearing it, he just says that he will ask another girl to hang out with him then, which shocked her. And he asks her on why she is always putting AG first. And he goes on by telling her to end their relationship here, since he got tired of her. But in the end, she chose the new guy. Even everything happened, she was still hoping if AG will forgive her, but it didn't happen. And she even thought that she is going to marry AG in the future. So to marry him, she have to confess the truth to everyone. So as a result, she is now stuck in between, whether she should confess the truth or continue this lie. Afterwards, at the next day, AG's bullying was increasing day by day. And while he was walking by, everyone around him gossiping that he is really gross. And after entering the classroom, he realizes that they even put his name in board. But he was really shocked to see his family's photo hanging in there. After seeing it, he decides to run away. But before he could leave, the other guy comes in and calls AG, and with an angry face he asks him on why they had to say a lie. Afterwards, with a menace face, he says that it's making him happy to see a guy lose his girlfriend and everything, which he did it with his own hands. Afterwards, he tells AG to quit the school, and then with a happy face he says he loves ruining other people's life. After hearing all of that, he kneels down and got knocked down because of the pressure. Afterwards, the nurse from the infirmary is also not happy to help him, and in the end he gets up with a dead eye. He thinks to himself that there is no one here that's going to help him. And he realizes that the teachers are going to take his ex-girlfriend's side, and also he can't talk about this with his parents, since they are already working hard. And he is now in a huge problem, because he's still got a year and a half to graduate. And he realizes that there is a message from his club, which was that president telling him to not attend the club anymore. And after seeing it, he started to cry, and they even kicked him out of the club, so he can't even explain the real truth to them. And he cried all day. Afterwards, he tells to the teacher that he is fine, and leaves the place. In the end, he sits on the stairs thinking he will be fine as long as he endure every cruelty. And he remembers every bad words they used to him while sitting there. In the end, he decides to jump out of the roof, so if he did, he can be free. And after coming to the rooftop, he realizes that there is a girl standing there. And she looks at him blushingly, while he is standing there with a dead eyes.
She then questions him on who is he, to which he tells to her that he is from the second year, and he was just trying to skip classes, and somehow ended up in the roof. After saying that he thinks to himself that there is no way he can tell to her that he came up here to jump off the roof. After saying it, he thinks to himself that she is the first-year student who is the top at studies. And because of her kindness and knowledgeable personality, she instantly became an idol of this school. Also, a bunch of guys from his class confess their love to her. Afterwards, she asks him on why is he showing up in this rooftop, to which he tells her to leave this spot to him until the lunchtime overs. But then she says no, and she goes on by saying that she won't give up this spot to him. After hearing it, he started to argue with her by saying she knows the rumors about him, to which she replies as she do know it, and with knowing that she won't give up on this place, which just shocked him. Afterwards, she says that she knows about the rumors, and those are just the rumors, but after hearing it, he was shocked. But she goes on by saying that she won't believe those rumors until she sees it with her own eyes. Besides, love is also like an illness, and also why would she wants to believe a one-sided story like that? Plus, the students these days are just overreacting to everything, to which he asks to her if she is believing him. But then she started to say it's not about believing or not believing. It's about hurting someone based on one-sided story is just too much of a risk. After hearing it, he was shocked, while she was just standing there while blushing. Afterwards, while smiling for the first time, he says thank you, which shocked her, and she asks him on why is he thanking her, to which he tells to her that it's fine even if she doesn't know it. And all of a sudden it starts to rain. After seeing it, he asks her to come inside, otherwise she might get a cold, but she tells him to leave her alone, which shocked him, and he was really confused. Afterwards, she started to crash out by saying that he doesn't understand anything, and also the reason she is standing her all alone. But before saying it, she stops it, and he asks her then what is the reason. Afterwards, she started to say that getting soaked in the rain and catching a cold isn't something he needs to worry about, because there is no tomorrow for her. After hearing it, he was shocked. Afterwards, she turns that way, and she started to walk away, and he just tells her to calm down to her, to which she turns back by shouting at him that she wants to die, which caught him off guard, and he grabs her hands by telling her to stop. Afterwards, she tries to get loose of his hands, and he tells her to cut it out, but then she slips. But before she could fall, he comes in front of her by taking all the fall damage. Afterwards, she started to ask him on why he did that, since if the fence was really weak, he would have died trying to protect her, to which he tells her to shut up, and he goes on by saying that he doesn't need a reason to save someone, which made her to get speechless. But then he asks her if she is going to die, she should at least go out with him. And after saying it, he asks her to skip school together, and this caught her off guard. Afterwards, she asks to him if he understands the situation they are in, to which he replies with that he couldn't help it, since he also came up here to die, but ended up saving a junior's life. After hearing it, she started to blush. In the end, she sits on the floor, and she started to cry and smile while saying that he is right. Afterwards, in the end, both of them were having fun. After a while, they decided to get inside the building. And after coming in, he gives her a handkerchief to use. And he tells her to take it, and she doesn't need to give it back to him. Afterwards, while blushing, she tells thanks to him. And she goes on by telling him to not stare at her too much, which made him to get embarrassed. In the end, he takes a look at her, and her dress was really transparent. But then she suddenly notices him staring at her, and she tells to him that's sexual harassment. Afterwards, she goes on by asking to him what are they going to do now, since he even invited her to skip school, so he must have a plan to do something right. After hearing it, he looks at her while smiling, and he says of course he doesn't have a plan, since he said those because he was really desperate at that time. And he goes on by telling to her that it kind of feels cool like they are a delinquent student. After hearing it, she started to smile while blushing. After seeing it, he started to think that she can smile like that. And then he recalls something that according to their classmates who confessed to her, she never smiles while saying stuffs like, there is no way that she can date a person that she doesn't even know before, since if a stranger suddenly confessed to her, it's just straight up scary. Afterwards, she rejects another guy by asking him if he is only interested in her looks and status. After remembering that, he started to think that she would have done the same thing to him when he confessed to her, but it didn't went in the same way. Afterwards, she calls him, and she hands him her handkerchief by saying it's her return gift, which shocked him, and he slowly takes it from her by saying thank you. Afterwards, he started to search for a rice balls in his bag, and after finding it, he tells her to eat it. After eating it, she was shocked, since it was really delicious. Afterwards, she asks to him if this rice ball has tuna and mayonnaise in it, to which he explains to her that it's just normally being sold in the convenience store. After hearing it, she blushingly says, "So everyone is always eating this good?" To which he blushingly tells to her that there is tons of delicious foods out there, and it will be such a waste to die without knowing all of this, which made her to blush more. Afterwards, with a determined expression, she started to say she is getting more interested into this. And after hearing it, he casually asks her to come over to his house, but this startled her. After a while, they comes down to the front gate, and he tells to her, "Let's go." After hearing it, she asks him that the front door is locked, so how can they get out of this school? To which he tells to her that they are going to climb it, but she's shocked and she says that she is wearing a skirt. Afterwards, he tells to her that he was just joking, while she is standing there pouting at him. Afterwards, he goes on by asking her if she can see that iron door, and they can easily open it from the inside. Also, it locks automatically, so they can't enter from outside. After hearing it, she asks to him on how did he know about that, to which he thinks to himself that an honor student like her wouldn't even know it. Afterwards, while smiling, he tells to her that it's fine if it's once a while, and then they started to walk away while holding hands. But after realizing it, Eiji started to blush. But she just tells him to stop blushing and tells him to start going. Afterwards, he asks to her if she is okay with holding hands with a guy she just met, but she was listening to it while blushing. In the end, she says it will be a lie if she says that she isn't uncomfortable, but it was still fine in the movies, so it's normal. Afterwards, she goes on by saying that it's her first time holding a guy's hand, so he should be careful with it. And he tells to her to stop overthinking it while blushing. And in the end, both of them started to run away, and while they were running, someone started to shout at them by telling them to stop. But they didn't even look back, as if they are leaving their past behind and marching forward to a bright future.